Hey everyone, it's Massimo from Penguin House. And today I'm going to be doing a video I really wanted to do for a very long time. It is my comic that I do, and I'm just going to review the characters. So I put them into generations of that sort. And it starts off on Mars, 2040. Okay, wait, I got to do like a narrator beginning, like in movies. The year is 2040. And NASA has launched the astronauts to Mars. Okay, let's go on to characters. So first we have Astra. Astra's probably like the main character. Probably the most confident one and outgoing, adventurous, extrovert person. We also have Mars gems, which are the currency that you mine. Also, I drew this using these fancy Copic markers. They're like $8 just for one. Basically it's the currency. You have to mine them from the ground. We also have his robot, Lewis. I drew his eyes really cross-eyed. I don't know why. Trust me, he does not look like that. His eyes are not cross-eyed. He's probably the most awkward, introverted leader robot that gives like data information. Probably their main source of survival. If they did not have him, they would not have internet or anything else to search off of. We also have Jeb the flag. He's an American flag. He's a living American flag. It's a cartoon. I do what I want. We also have the question mark. Yes, that is what I named it. It's like a weird alien shapeshifter thing, and it can like shapeshift and like absorb anything. We also have the Temple Guardian, which is like I call it the Astro Gastropod. Don't ask. And he basically guards a treasure. There's like the question marks have like a village, and in the center is like a well, kind of like in Minecraft. And when you go down it leads into like a temple, and there's a treasure that's said to have like many Mars gems. But they are very good at protecting it, and well, you can't really get past them. We also have Hyposis. The thing with Hyposis is just kill. I hate everything. Everything is bad. Kill everything. Just everything is destructive. Just fire, death, stuff like that. It's basically, I kind of modeled him off of Bill Cipher, but instead of being Bill Cipher, where he just kind of wants to conquer the world, he wants to destroy it, like in a fiery pit of death. Like, it got one from like it went from like really happy until just like very grim and very sour very fast. Also, the Rocky. I like the Rockies. They're like kind of rock turtles. That's what I kind of based them off of. They also have Mars gems growing out of them that you can harvest. That was the first gen. Here we have the second gen, which is Amelia. She does not have a very high IQ, and she's not very smart. She literally got the minimum. Like, you have to train, and she did poorly, but she really wanted to go. And she spells everything with 2 L's. So if there's anyone with like 2 L's in her name, probably named by her. Amelia. Very playful. Just everyone, like, she grabs everyone's attention. In a bad way, because she's usually messing around and stuffing a bunch of bouncy balls up her shirt. Then we have Signal. He was programmed to be a signal robot, because you know how some like radio towers don't go, like they only have so much range that they can cover. He is supposed to stand at the end of the range and extend it more, but he wanted to get into pop culture and just everything in pop culture. That's really it. Just him and pop culture were a match made in heaven. He also smokes, but the thing is that he's a robot, and he has like filters under the shirt. It's a very baggy shirt, as you can see. He has like a filters that just kind of filter it out, so it doesn't really harm him in any way. Also, he changed the name from a Signal robot to Signal instead of Signal. We also plan words. We also have Cosmo, which is supposed to be my psychic. He's... Oh. And he's probably the one that does not... He's the only one that does not come from America. He comes from Russia. And it's why I gave him, one of those really big Russian fur hats. Also, he's a psychic. And he hates Hypsis, and he's probably his mortal enemy. Well, immortal enemy. They're both immortal. We also have Toby, which is his robot. I kind of based him off of the Baymax face. He loves to dig with his shovel. He also hates crabs because they stole his first shovel. So whenever he sees a crab, he just goes whacking after it with the shovel. He's gonna kill that crab. We also have Blops. These don't get fooled by their name. They are dangerous, deadly. Every day is a world war for them. Every Blop universe is constantly making war, and torpedoes and bombs and tanks. The Blop race is always at war. And they have massive fortresses. I'm not kidding. They are 30 acres by 30 acres, in a square. A 30-acre square. And that's just one fortress. And they also have tanks, which are introduced in the 3rd gen. But we'll get to that later. And we also have the King Blop, which is probably the ruler. And if he dies, then we get one of the normal Blops and make him king. And he usually has this steel bent to kind of look like a crest. But now we have the 3rd gen. We're starting to start off with Kronos. He is a very special one because he's the genie of the question mark. He's a question mark genie. And he's very powerful, and he can grant you any wish. He usually works with Hypsis, Astro, and the Blops because they need a lot of stuff. Hypsis can conjure up a lot of things, so Kronos basically gives him power to conjure up everything, and that you can everything in the universe, including atoms. You can create those. Also, he helps Astro get materials. He can grant him materials. And Blops, he gives them weapons torpedoes and nuclear bombs, because that's what we need. We also have Dr. Luetta. I can never say her name. And she's basically the scientist, and not very good at it. It always ends up with explosions. And we also have the Marcy base, or the Mars base, whatever you want to call it. It's basically the finished version of the base, because when Astro and Lewis and Jeb landed in the rocket, they took apart the rocket and they built it into a base. So, their fire is basically one of the jet engines, but, with less propeller. There's also air filters and the entire thing is made from the rocket, except the windows in the back of it, which are made from smelted Mars gems. We also have, and this is the lab, and I kind of made it a potion, so whenever Dr. Luetta causes an explosion, the cork of the building just comes off, and I thought it would be really funny. And there was 2 windows, because this is Dr. Spade. He's a cyborg spider robot. And he goes on this side, and Dr. Luetta works on this side. So whenever she creates an explosion, it turns up there and goes through the roof. Literally. And then we have the Blop tank. Just watch out for these. These are terrifying. They hover slightly above the ground, and there's a massive saws in the front. And they destroy other Blops with them. And they take the parts from the enemy Blop, and it gets put inside the tank. And then inside the tank, there's a bunch of engineers that turn that Blop's parts. They make him back into a Blop, but instead of being on the other Blop team, he's on their side. I'm not sure if you understood that, but if you did, good. And it has like a torpedo, a blade, and I tried making a blob poking out. I'm not sure if you can notice that. That was the 3rd gen. Then we had the 4th gen, and it's the final generation of Astro Omnibus. But I have not finished it. It's making a trilogy of the story, and it begins in the 3rd gen. And the 4th gen is going to be in the 2nd and 3rd book. So I'm not yet done with it. So we have Daniela, which is a female version of Signal, and she is more modern, but she has the same likings, like pop culture and stuff like that. We also have this one. I'm not really sure what to do. I was thinking of another astronaut, but he was like a comet, and you have to get like a bunch of stuff to resurrect him. And since he doesn't have a robot, I thought we'd give him Daniela. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'll do something else. I also had the Blop Bot, which is the Blop giant robot that kills everything. We also have another empty space, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I kind of want to put some sort of parasite in it, and I doodled a couple ideas down here. Like, I came up with a couple ideas, kind of. This was actually a real one. It's an NTD, if you know what those are. But it's like this meter-long parasite that, like, wraps around your leg bone, and it'll start, like, a wart. And it's very difficult because you have to pull it out. But the thing is that it's a meter long. So you have to kind of keep pulling it out. And it's very, very painful and very gross. So I kind of want to put some sort of parasite that, like, are so tiny that you just kind of need, like, a pencil tip to kill it. It's something like that. I want to do something of that kind of sort. And I definitely am, but I'm not sure what to do. Okay, so I gotta end it here. Bye, guys.